Only storyline, voiceover, and video editing is mine. If you like my work, then please subscribe to my channel.
Why today? She murmured. Why did I choose this complicated dress? Yuan stood in front of her mirror, trying to zip off her party dress when somehow stuck at her chin. Yuan, have you? Oh. Jungkook walked in the room, froze mid-sentence, his dark eyes widened in shock as they landed on her. He lowered his eyes. Sorry, I didn't know you were. I forgot to knock. Your arranged husband said, looking away as if looking at you is a crime. It's okay. He was about to leave, but you called him. Wait, can you help me? He looked at you and noticed you were struggling with your dress zipper. It was already late for their family party, and everyone left without you two, so there is no one who can help her. Jungkook hesitated, but nodded, knowing you are helpless. Jungkook walked towards you and stood behind you. Yuan shyly removed her hair from her back. Yuan felt her heart race as Jungkook leaned in, his fingers gently brushing against her neck. You watch him in the mirror, how he carefully avoiding looking at you directly. 2 months into their marriage, she had fallen for Jungkook. His small acts of kindness, the way he always showed her care without her noticing, the way he respected her, giving her time to adjust. But her insecurities whispered that does he have any interest in her? What if he was just doing this because he had to for continue marriage? He is making sure his hand is not touching your skin. You don't know what is this, whether he is not happy with you or he thinks that you are not good enough for him. His careful avoidance of your skin felt like a gesture of respect, but then it's also made you wonder if he had no interest in you. It's done, Jungkook said, stepping back with zipping the dress. You gave him a small smile. Thank you. This time he looked at you carefully. He realized how beautiful his wife is looking. He hesitated, as if wanting to say something but didn't, just nodded. We will leave in 10 minutes. Saying this, he turned and left the room, closing the door. As soon as he was gone, Yuan felt mixed of emotions swirling inside her. You know his nature, how gentleman he is, but his gentleman behavior left you feeling uncertain about his true feelings towards you. Jia, do your brother have any girlfriend before our marriage? Being curious, you asked Jungkook's younger sister, who was drinking her juice. Listening your question, she choked on her drinks. You immediately patted her back. Oh no, are you okay? Jungkook's mother also came there seeing her daughter. Are you alright? When Jia get normal, she nodded and started laughing at your earlier question. Mom, Yeon asked me if Jungkook loved someone before they got married. Mrs. Jeon's eyes widened briefly before a knowing smile spread across her face. Oh, did she know? Yuan's cheek burned with embarrassment. I was just curious, she said, pouting. Did Juggle seeing her face? Don't worry, Yuan. The answer is no. Jungkook's always been more focused on work and his hobbies than romance. She grinned mischievously. But let me tell you something about my big brother. Yuan tousled her head. Jia leaned in closer. She whispered in your ear. He is been glancing at you the whole time. What? Yuan blinked, her heart skipping a beat. He may think he is being stubborn, but a mother knows, she said, laughing softly. Yuan turned to look at Jungkook and catch him stealing a glance at her. When their eyes met, he quickly looked away, pretending to be engrossed in his conversation with others. See, he can't help himself. You have got him wrapped around your finger. Jia giggled. You're teasing me, she mumbled. We are not teasing you, dear. Jungkook may be introverted, but he is not as unreadable as he thinks. He is in love with you. It's written all over his face. Mrs. Jane smiled warmly, knowing his son will. In love with me? Yuan whispered, her heart swelling with hope. Absolutely. He is just not the most expressive person, so he doesn't know how to show it. But trust me, he is crazy about you. Yuan bit her lips, her heart racing. She allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, her marriage wasn't just as one sided as she had feared. Yeon glanced at him again. This time Jungkook also glanced at her. His eyes softened when he saw her smile. It's not like he doesn't like you. He does. At first he kept distance because it was arranged marriage for both of you. But then when he realized he has fallen for her wife, it was too late. He still couldn't get figure of the awkwardness between them and it was growing day by day and he didn't know how to fix it. He was never been in love or fallen in love until she came in his life. He doesn't know how to express that. He still doesn't know how to make her know he loves her so much. Few days later, Jungkook family prepared for a hiking trip. His family loves to travel. At first you hesitated to come, but now you are here. You think it's worth it. The scenery was breathtaking. Yeon stood near the trailhead, struggling with her boot lace it again. Why I am so clumsy, she muttered under her breath. You are about to bend down to tie again, but before that Junko crouched down to tie her bootlace. Stay still. I can do it myself. Yuan protested, flustered, but her voice lacked conviction. Let me, he insisted, his tone gentle but firm. Her heart fluttered as she watched him tie the laces with practiced ease. His hands worked quickly, his focus unwavering, and for a moment Jivan was lost in the sight of him. Her husband, the man who seemed to be slowly but surely breaking through the walls she had built around her heart. Yuan's eyes lingered on him as he crouched at her feet, the way his dark hair fell over his forehead, the focused look in his eyes, it all made her chest tighten. How could someone be so effortlessly caring? Being clumsy is also cute, you know. Jungkook's voice broke through her thoughts. Jungkook's family had been watching the entire interaction from a short distance. His mother smiled, nudging Jia. Look at them, she whispered. He is putting in effort. Jia grinned. Finally, it's about time he showed how much he cares. Jungkook further chuckled, motioning them to move ahead, giving them some space. There, he said, standing up and brushing his hands together. All set. That thanks. She stammered, her cheeks warm. You don't have to. He gave her a faint smile. They both started working side by side. Without saying anything, suddenly Jungkook tied his jacket around her waist so she could put it on if she got cold, making her step back but her fluttered. She thinks she is lucky to have such a husband. Time escape. What do you mean Yuan is missing? His voice was raw, trembling with a mix of anger and fear. Jungkook, the world had turned cold. His heart pounded in his chest as he heard the word that shattered his sense of calm. She wasn't feeling well, Jungkook. She said she wanted to go back to the cottage and rest. We offered to go with her, but she insisted we stay and enjoy the hike. She is equally panicked, but trying to stay calm and explain. She may have taken a wrong turn, she said quietly, tears welling up. His heart felt like it was being crushed under an unbearable weight. Without another word, he broke into a run, heading towards the trail they had been following. Yuan, where are you? He shouted, his breath cracking. Every step he took felt heavy, every call of her name echoing back at him like a reminder of her absence. Please, Yan, answer me, where are you? He started running here and there like a crazy person, his mind racing with the worst case scenarios. What if she was hurt? What if she was lost, scared, or worse? The thought was unbearable. I should have been with her, he muttered, his voice breaking. What did I let her go alone? Tears blurred his vision. Please, God, he whispered, his voice trembling. Bring her back to me. I will do better. I will tell her everything. I will confess. Just let her be okay. Please. A sob escaped him and he dropped to his knees. I can't lose her. You and Bob. Yuan lay swumbled beneath her as she stumbled along the uneven path. She had tried to find her way back to the cottage, but everything looked the same tall trees, endless shadows, and no clear direction. She sat on the nearby tree, pressing her body to the tree. Jungkook, I miss you, she muttered weakly, her voice barely audible. He is the only person she is recalling now. She thinks there is no way now. Yuan pulled out her phone with trembling fingers. The signal was weak. She already tried many times but can't connect. She managed to dial Jungkook's number once again. This time the call connected. He immediately received the call. Yuan, where are you? Are you okay? Can you hear me? Clenching her phone with trembling hands, Yuan sobbed harder as she heard his voice, her only anchor in the overwhelming darkness around her. Jungkook, I am scared. Her voice was shaky, barely above a whisper, but enough for him to catch. Stay on the line, he ordered. Are you hurt? Can you see anything around you? Just trees, she whispered, her vision blurring. Everything looks the same. She gulped. Jungkook, I can't walk anymore. Just be safe, I am coming. His voice cracked, and she could hear him running. Are you wearing the jacket I gave you? The temperature had dropped. Please wear it. You will get cold. Yuan can hear he is crying. Tears fall from her eyes. Jungkook, I don't think I can. She tried to stay strong, but her vision blurred. You can. Please wait for me. He was running, stopped in the midway, finally seeing Yuan. Yuan, by the time he saw her, her faint form slumbered against a tree, her phone laying on the ground beside her. He dropped to his knees, his hands trembling as he cupped her pale, tear-stained face. Please wake up, he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Please don't do this to me. Her eyelids fluttered weakly, and she let out a faint breath. You came. I thought I would never see you again. She tried to smile, but her body felt too heavy. Don't say that, he said, tears streaming down his face as he gently pulled her into his arms. You are not going anywhere. Do you hear me? You are mine, Yuan. You are my life, my love. I love you. You said you love me, she murmured, her voice barely audible. I do, he said, pressing a kiss to her forehead. I have loved you from the start. I was just too stupid to say it, but I promise from now on I will tell you every day. Just stay with me, please. Jungkook scooped her into his arms, holding her close as he stood. He began running back towards the trail. Yan rested her head on his chest. Hours later, your eyes fluttered open to the soft glow of the cottage light. Your body felt heavy, but the familiar warmth of a blanket wrapped around you brought comfort. Turning your head slightly, you saw Jungkook sitting beside you, putting his head on the bed. Jungkook, you whispered, your voice hurt. His head shot up instantly, his wide tears eyes meeting yours. Relief washed over his face and he leaned closer to you. You are awake? He said softly, his voice trembling. Before you could respond, the door opened, and his family entered the room. Mrs. Jeon rushed to your side, her eyes filled with guilt and worry. Yuan, my dear, how are you feeling? She asked, her voice gentle. I am fine now, Mom. You managed to a faint smile. I am so sorry. Her voice cracked. We never should have let you go alone. It's all about my fault. No, you interrupted, shaking your head. It's not your fault. I insisted on going alone. Please don't blame yourself. Mrs. John placed a hand over her heart, visibly received. Thank you for forgiving us, Yuan. We will never take your safety lightly again. Yuan smiled. Jungkook remained silent through it all, his gaze fixed on the floor. His family noticed him and exchanged glances. Mrs. Jeon gave your hand a gentle squeeze before motioning for the others to leave. Talk to him. He had been worried for you, she said kindly. You know that. Everyone left the room. The silence in the room felt heavy. You turned to Jungkook, who still hadn't said a word. Jungkook, you called softly, reaching out to touch his hand. What happened? Why aren't you saying anything? He looked at your hand resting over his, still not looking at you. You cupped his face, made him look at you. He slowly raised his gaze to meet yours. His eyes were filled with so much emotion, pain, guilt, and love. I am okay now, Jungkook. See, I am fit and fine in front of you. She tried to lighten up his mood. I almost lost you, he said, his voice breaking. Do you have any idea what that did to me? Jungkook, when I couldn't find you, when I heard you faint over the phone, I thought I would lost you forever. I couldn't breathe, Yuan. The idea of living without you. His voice cracked, tears filled your eyes as you watched him struggle to put his emotion into words. I am here now, you said softly. I am fine. You don't understand. It wasn't just about finding you safe, it was about everything. I haven't said everything I have kept inside because I didn't know how to say it. Your heart started pounding. Before continue, he kissed on your back part of the right hand. I love you, Yuan. I have loved you since the moment we got married, but I was a coward. I thought maybe you didn't feel the same, so I kept my distance. I told myself it was better this way, that wouldn't hurt you if I stayed quiet. Tears spilled down your cheeks as his words sank in. But today, he continued, his voice shaking. When I thought I may never get the chance to tell you, it broke something inside me. I can't do that anymore. I can't keep hiding how I feel. I love you, Ian, with everything I have. You let out a shaky breath, your heart swelling with emotion. I don't know if you love me or not. I just wanted to let you know that I had been fallen harder for my wife. I love you too, you whispered, your voice thick with tears. You, you do? You couldn't believe what you had heard. I have been falling for you since the day we got married, you admitted, a small smile breaking through her tears. But like you, I thought you didn't feel the same. I thought you were just being polite, doing your duty. He let out a choked laugh, cupping your face. We have both been so scared of each other's feelings, but I don't want to be scared anymore. Neither do I, she said, his thumbs brushing away your tears. Jungkook leaned forward, his forehead resting against yours. From now on, I will make sure you never doubt how much I love you. He whispered, I will tell you every day, every moment if I have to. He smiled through your tears, your hands finding their way to his, and I will do the same for you. Jungkook smiled. A soft, genuine smile that lighted up his face. The fear and guilt that had consumed his began to fade, replaced by a newfound determination to cherish every moment with you. For the first time in their marriage, Hyun felt truly seen, loved, and understood. Together, you promised silently to build a future where love would always be at the center, no matter what challenges life brought your way. The end.